Okay, well, good morning, everybody. Thank you all for visiting Metro Hall today. We got a group of good media turnout here today, and I don't have to tell a group of reporters about the changes that technology has certainly brought to the world of modern communications, whether you're behind a digital screen or you're on a big stage at a large community event. You never know what's going to happen next, but you guys got to live with this every day. And so just like the news outlets and journalists have had to adapt to the opportunities and challenges of the digital age, you see that here with local government all the time as well. And that's been one of the big goals of my administration from the very beginning. And if we take our rightful place amongst the world's great modern cities, you see us doing that by embracing technology at every turn, because citizens certainly do and businesses do as well. We're constantly looking for ways to better use the internet, mobile apps, and social media to better communicate with our citizens, and you see evidence of that all over the place. We've done that by putting our Louisstat data online. Louisstat we created here specifically for the needs of our city. It's been recognized all over the world as the best government stat model available. We've redesigned LouisvilleKY.gov into a user-friendly website that consistently wins national awards. We developed a street sweeping text alert system. We put GPS trackers on our snow plows, so this winter citizens can tell which streets are being plowed. We created AliLouisville.com in one day, basically to respond to all the inquiries that were coming into our city about the champ during that historic week on his passing. And then we have partnered with the creators of the Waze traffic app to give citizens access to better traffic information. And we put all of our police data online, so if you want to find it, it's easy to do that here in our city, and we're going to continue to do that. And it's interesting then also to see how businesses are coalescing around all this open data opportunity that we have. So today, I'm announcing a new Metro government partnership to help us better communicate with our citizens. We're joining cities around the country and partnering with the social media site Nextdoor to help communicate neighborhood-specific information with citizens all over Louisville. And if you're not familiar with Nextdoor, it's been around for about 5 years. It has millions of users nationwide, and it has 36,000 users here in our city. And it's similar to Facebook, only it's very neighborhood-specific. How many of y'all are familiar with Nextdoor? Okay, good, good. So what happens is users log in, they identify their neighborhood, and then Nextdoor helps them connect with other folks who live in that neighborhood. And they typically use the site to share information like things that are really important to people, like, has anybody seen my dog or my cat? I'm missing them. Anybody interested in buying a gently used bicycle? Can anybody recommend a good lawn care service, a good plumber, whatever it might be? But the kind of things that neighbors talk to each other about. And they also organize neighborhood watches and share information about neighborhood crime, and that's one of the areas that we're very interested in. If there's safety information we need to convey to citizens in a specific neighborhood, or a water main break, or a sudden traffic obstruction, or something related to criminal activity that we're pursuing, Nextdoor is one of the media we'll be using to get that message out. Then LMPD has been among our first testers of this system. So let me show you an example of how powerful this can be. Recently in the Highlands, there was a series of car break-ins that citizens were discussing on Nextdoor, and understandably they were upset and concerned. Well, LMPD caught the perpetrator, and we were able to use Nextdoor to let neighbors know, hey, we've made an arrest in this case, and we really appreciate all of the neighbors contributing to help us with some of the leads that led to that. Now, in the past, we could have never targeted a message like that only to those citizens to whom it was specifically relevant, and obviously arrest reports and everything else are still public, and citizens should use 911 to report crimes in emergencies. But Nextdoor allows us to kind of hyper-localize that message and gives us an efficient way to connect with a specific group of citizens. And so that's why it's an easy decision for us to join cities across the country that are already partnered with Nextdoor, like LA, San Francisco, Phoenix, Charlotte, Pittsburgh, and many more. So we invite citizens to interact with Metro government through Nextdoor, just like they do with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And obviously for citizens, if you want to participate, please do, but this is all voluntary. And people should still use the same good judgment here when it comes to sharing personal information that they would anywhere online. But we think this is a really useful tool for community engagement. As we see it, if we want to connect with citizens and give them the information they need about what's happening in their neighborhood and in our city, we need to meet them where they are, and increasingly, people obviously are online using sites like Nextdoor. So we're going to have a demonstration right now and take some questions. So first, I'd like to thank our Assistant Chief, Mike Sullivan, for showing up here and the good job that people are doing all over the city. It is an interesting time in American cities, obviously, as it relates to police-community relations. And I'm happy to say that in our city, regardless of the geography, people are supporting our police department. Our police department is also wise enough to know that they can improve in any way they police our communities, just like we can all improve every day. So I'm hopeful we're one of these example cities of showing the rest of the country how we can continue to evolve and improve our police-community relationships. So, Mike, to you and the entire team, thank you very much. And we have an outstanding officer, Lamont Washington, with us today, who I seem to run into on the streets all the time because he's doing good work. And so he's going to do a little case study here on how LMPD has been using Nextdoor. Officer Washington.
Thanks, sir. So thank you guys for coming. To reiterate some of the things that Mayor Fisher said, what I want to stress is that Nextdoor.com is a great way for the community to get to know people that live in their neighborhood. This is not something that's going to be actively monitored by the LMPD, so it's not a replacement for 911. So if there's an emergency, call 911. If you have a crime tip, 574-LMPD, non-emergency, 574-7111. This is a great way to replace the old phone tree that people used to use with the neighborhood block watches. It's a lot more user-friendly, especially with the app. We look forward to connecting with you guys on it. And last thing, make sure that whatever you post, like the mayor said, understand that everybody can see those replies. So if it's anything that has specific information that you don't want everybody to see, then send it to the LMPD as a private message and we will respond to you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Robbie Turner is here with us from Nextdoor, so she's going to give us a little demonstration, then we'll hear from one of our great citizens on how Nextdoor is being used here in Louisville. Robbie?
Thank you. So I'll do a few remarks first, and then I'll show a demo, a very quick demo of the site. And on behalf of the entire Nextdoor team, I want to thank Mayor Fisher, Louisville Metro staff, and the Louisville Metro Police Department for championing Nextdoor across Louisville and making today's announcement possible. Nextdoor is the free and private social network that gives neighbors the ability to create and self-manage a private neighborhood network. In the summer of 2010, we looked at all of the research that basically says neighbors that are connected to their neighbors, other neighbors, those neighborhoods are safer, the kids stay in school longer, and public health is better. For these reasons, we wanted to create Nextdoor to bring back that sense of community to neighborhoods and make those neighborhoods safer. We also realized that in the social media landscape at the time, there was nothing that connected us with our individual neighborhoods. So there was Facebook that connected us with people that we knew from all around the world. There was LinkedIn that connected us with our individual neighborhoods. There wasn't Instagram back then, but now Instagram is there. And Twitter connects us with special interest, basically. So we were looking at, in our own lives, in the individual neighborhoods, we didn't know how to connect with the people we live next to anymore. And so Nextdoor, we created that so that we could get people talking to each other in a very positive way and to give them the ability to actually help each other out. So since we launched in October of 2011, we came out with the mission that we are trying to use the power of technology to build stronger and safer neighborhoods. Since then, we have more than 100,000 neighborhoods across the U.S. using it, and over 1,600 public agencies are currently using Nextdoor to communicate with their residents. Now, Nextdoor is not entirely new here to Louisville. Over the past few years, tens of thousands of residents have joined Nextdoor to connect with each other about the things that matter most in their communities. A few months ago in April, LMPD issued a call of action encouraging residents to join Nextdoor in anticipation of today's partnership announcement. And I'm happy to say that that call to action really worked. In April, there were only 290 Louisville neighborhoods that were using Nextdoor. And now there are over 400 neighborhoods using Nextdoor here in Louisville. And those are neighborhoods like Nextdoor Cooper Farms, Nextdoor Glenberry, Nextdoor Breckenridge Estates. And we have someone here from Breckenridge Estates today that's going to talk to you. Now, members appreciate Nextdoor because each neighbor must verify their own address before they can access their private neighborhood website. With this added sense of security, Louisville residents can talk about everyday things like the lost pets, finding a babysitter, kind of more personal things, and critical matters like communicating that there's a rash of break-ins in their area. So Louisville Metro staff and Louisville Metro Police Department are constantly looking for innovative ways to keep Louisville connected and safe, and you heard that from the mayor. Starting today, the Metro government and police department will be able to share news, services, programs, free events, emergency notifications with Nextdoor websites across the city. With this launch, Louisville combines the power of technology with neighbors to build stronger and safer places to call home. I want to congratulate Louisville Metro for your progressive leadership and for making today possible. You clearly share Nextdoor's commitment to bringing back a sense of community to the neighborhoods. None of this would have been possible without the great neighbors that we have here in Louisville, and they are the ones that first introduced Nextdoor to Louisville residents. We're fortunate today to recognize one of these great neighborhood leaders, Debbie McKnight from Nextdoor Breckenridge Estates. So Debbie's going to share a few words about her experience, and then I'll actually bring up the site and show you how it works.
Hi, I'm Debbie McKnight with Breckenridge Estates Neighborhood Association. We have been using Nextdoor since 2013. At that time, I'm on the Chief Police Citizens Advisory Board. My block watch emails were being rejected as spam because we were sending out 350 at a time, and I was looking for another option to get these out. And the chief was looking for someone to try out Nextdoor, so I volunteered. It has been fantastic for our neighborhood. We currently have 461 neighbors on Nextdoor. We connect to 25 different neighborhoods for a total of just under 2,000 people every time we have an issue. We communicate everything from lost dogs, lost chickens, found chickens. We have current discussions that are going on right now of people looking for a plumber, an electrician. The neighbors are chiming in. They're giving advice for great places to go. We communicate when we see something suspicious. The neighbors post when there has been a break-in in the neighborhood or a theft from a car. They communicate instantly. They can type it, send it out, and it goes out to, you can select how many people, but it can go out to almost all 2,000 people. We also have the ability to send an urgent text. We've only used it a couple of times. One time there was a burglary, an armed robbery at a nearby bank. One of the neighbors saw the police. They stopped her and said that they were looking for a suspect. She called me. We sent out an urgent text to all our neighbors asking them to lock their doors and to be looking for this person that the police were looking for. It went out immediately to everyone's cell phones. So that it's just really a great site. We look forward to LMPD being able to contact us directly rather than having to pass it on, and to get information from the city of Louisville. I just think it's a really great site. In our neighborhood, it's been really beneficial. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Debbie. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of go to kind of a free-form demo. This is the Louisville Metro Police Department site. And then there is a demo site as well I'm going to show you, and you can actually go to that and pull screenshots off of that if you would like. Basically, there is an About section, which reiterate what the officer said. This site is not monitored 24/7, and so they can post a message, people can reply to the message, but they cannot see any of the private content that's going on within the individual neighborhoods. So they can post a message, people can reply to them. So they have very limited things they can do. The thing I wanted to show you, this is the first post from Louisville Police Department. And it's basically just kind of a welcome message, hey, this is what we can do on Nextdoor. The great thing about this is there's been 685 thank yous. This post was done a little over 2 hours ago. Yeah, so a little over 2 hours ago. 685 thanks and 129 replies. And so that is actually great response from the neighbors. Welcoming the police department onto Nextdoor. And this is only going to grow over the next couple of days as more and more people see this. They're going to be able to see this. And so I've been asked just to show you a couple of the replies. Thank you very much for being on our Nextdoor neighborhood. You're very welcome and needed. Thanks to the LMPD for all they do for the city. May God bless each and every one of you and keep you safe each day. Welcome to the neighborhood. So that's just the 3 of the 129, but those are indicative of the types of replies that people have given actually to the police department. So congratulations, LMPD. Okay, so that is kind of a look at what the LMPD sees. Then the other thing they can do is they can actually look at the neighborhoods on a map. So I'm just going to their map and metrics. And so this is the only thing that they can see about a neighborhood is the metrics for the neighborhoods. And so they can zoom in and they can go to any one neighborhood and click on it, and they will be able to see the metrics for the neighborhood. This is Bonnie Castle. It's got 200 members. 15 people have joined in the last 15 days. There's been 13% of the households have joined. And there's 159 posts within the neighborhood. 23 have been about crime and safety. So that's all that the city gets to see for individual neighborhoods. They don't see any of the names of the people in the neighborhood. They don't see any of the posts that they are making. So the only thing they'll see is metrics in general about the individual neighborhoods. So next I'm going to show you what a neighborhood looks like. And this is a neighborhood where we have taken posts out of real neighborhoods and put them into this neighborhood. So there are police posts, there are city posts, there's everything. You can actually just play around with it. Every 10 minutes, it removes all the, like if you type in a post, it'll remove it in 10 minutes. So this is typical neighborhood. They can post a message. You can read their news feed, so very similar to a Facebook style. This is their navigation panel. So much, much more complex than the agency side. In this neighborhood, there's been an urgent alert that there were counterfeit $20 bills that were used in a garage sale. People can thank, they can reply. Here's a list of the replies. You can scroll down, see all the replies. First day of summer lemonade stand. This is just kind of things that are going on in neighborhoods. There's construction on our street. Wanted everybody to know when it's going to begin and end. There hasn't been a police post in a while, so maybe I'm interested in what was the last police post. Just scrolling over. I can select local agencies. And now it has filtered and it will show me all the posts from our local agencies. Don't block the box. Police department to begin monitoring intersections during peak rush hours. Recent rash of mail thefts across the city. There's a polling feature that allows the agency to ask questions and have prescribed answers, and people can vote on them. So do you generally feel safe in your neighborhood? Yes or no, and people can reply. Are you prepared for El Nino? Flooding expected, sandbags available. So those are some of the types of posts that you might see from the Louisville Metro staff. Any questions?
It's clear what LMPD can use this for. Can you talk about some of the other ways different sections of Metro government will be using this?
So we have a lot of people from the comm team of the agencies. So for example, we're looking in planning and design. when a new plan is submitted for the neighborhood, maybe a new restaurant's going to be built, maybe a new apartment complex is going to be developed, we're now going to be able to go in there and tell your neighborhood, hey, Valley Station, did you know that a new Economy Inn is coming to Dixie Highway? So for the first time, we are allowed to actually micro-target. We're allowed to narrowcast as opposed to broadcast, and we've never had that capacity before. So it'll be used in all sorts of ways.
And also, just as part of the larger conversation, perhaps this is an LMPD question, we've done several stories recently just about the communication line between communities and police. Is this another effort toward that?
Absolutely. I mean, we're committed to being engaged with those communities, and it allows us to target those communities directly and speak directly to the specific concerns in those neighborhoods, and then actually get feedback from them. They talked about the feedback features that we can get in those neighborhoods. So it's just another way we can be engaged. We want to use every technology we can. We're committed to that. We're committed to being engaged in the neighborhoods and hearing the neighbors that are out there. So this is just another tool that we can use to do that.
So just to clarify, it says you guys have been on here since April, but why are you welcome today, or does something change today?
This was our public launch. I mean, we've been encouraging neighbors and neighborhoods to use it. We always want neighbors to be engaged. We talk all the time how police, we need help. There's 1,200 sworn officers of the Metro Police Department. We can't do it all. We need the voices, we need the eyes and ears of the citizens out there to share the information with us. So this is something that we've encouraged. Now we've kind of rolled it out publicly.
And then, so people would have to contact you guys directly through a direct message to tell you something, because you can only see the metrics, right?
Yeah. So when the police make a post, there's a reply button, and if you click on the reply button, everybody, like for the citywide post, everyone in the city that originally got the post will see your reply. So if you reply, that's considered a public reply because you're posting back to everyone that originally got the post. But if you had something that you didn't want everyone in the city to know, if it was, hey, there's been this particular crime and we're looking for this particular person, and you know that person and you know where they are, you probably do not want everybody in the city to know that. So you can actually private message back to them by clicking on their name and sending them a private message. You can also use the other, this is not replacing any of the others, so there is a tip line. So you probably would want to go to the tip line and do like a major tip. And probably in their post, they would give you that number for the tip line as well. So it allows you to publicly reply or privately reply to the individual that posted out the message.
But police can't see like a conversation with a lost dog.
No, they don't see any of the conversations within the neighborhood. And then as soon as we have everyone in the police department up and running on this, there is a feature that will be that they will turn on, which is share with police. So when a neighbor creates a crime and safety post or an urgent alert, the person that posted it can choose to share that with the police. So then they will have all the information that they need on crime and safety posts as well in the neighborhoods.
You touched on it just then, but we talked about it a little more. This isn't going to be a Big Brother thing where they can watch everything that you're
Correct.
doing, like,
Yeah.
to put people at ease.
Yeah, so so the police department or any of the metro departments will not be able to see any content. So none of the conversations going on in the neighborhoods. They can't see who's in the neighborhood, so they don't see the names or the addresses of anyone that's in the neighborhood. So it keeps the neighborhoods totally private to the people that have verified to live in the neighborhood. And so what we've allowed is for the agencies to post into the individual neighborhoods and receive a reply back. So all they see is your reply and not any of the contents about lost dogs or garage sales or anything else that's going on in your neighborhood, which is why it's really important for us to roll out the Share with Police feature for urgent alerts and for crime and safety posts. So if there is a rash of car break-ins in your neighborhood, and the neighborhood is talking about it, and no one has called the police, then they don't have a clue that it's going on in your neighborhood. So we've got this feature that allows you to say, oh, there's a rash of break-ins in my neighborhood, and we're talking about this. And so when I post my message, I can go, maybe I should share this with the police so they know what we're talking about.
Can anyone post an urgent message, or is someone appointed for each neighborhood?
No, so any neighbor can do a urgent message. So in my own neighborhood, we had a lady recently whose son had meningitis, and she took him to the hospital. And so she posted out an urgent alert to my neighborhood saying, my son has meningitis. If yours played with him yesterday, take your son to the doctor, or take your child to the doctor immediately. So it's a very quick, easy way, something that people need to know, and they need to know it right then. So in that case, that was a medical thing where half the kids played football the day before, and her son was probably infecting all of them. So totally okay for people to do it. Not okay to do, hey, garage sale tomorrow. That's not an urgent event.